What's up, and welcome to episode 35 of Brewing Through the Multiverse. I'm Mike.
And I'm Joel.
How we
Nice.
doing, buddy?
Doing well. Glad to be talking about Magic. We're actually getting to double dip today talking about it, and then we're actually going to get to play today. So,
Yeah, this is like some good pregame right here. This is
yeah.
some foreplay before we get into the real action.
So then what
I'm
would you call
excited.
me building a deck in between then? Is that like when you're jerking off and she's like in the bathroom
Yeah,
before she
that the
gets back?
pinching and
Yeah.
rolling,
Yeah, and
just
you're like, I got to keep it out,
yeah. It's gonna be a
We've all
long
been
day,
there. We've all been there.
Oh yeah. Shit, man. Well, so yeah, we didn't record last week. A lot fell onto your plate. Life was crazy. But here we are just in time for the full spoil of Bloomburrow,
Yep.
which we will be covering. That'll be pretty much our whole episode today. So there's a lot to talk about here, man. So what's your initial thoughts on Bloomburrow? Just the general, here it is. What do you think?
Bread wall. No, I'm kidding. But I am a huge fan of Bloomburrow. Um, I love the artwork. Let's just start with that. Like, they definitely crushed like the small animal set. I like that all the weapons are like leaves and like twigs and shit, like all bound together with like, I don't know, plant. It looks great. It looks like a small world. So they killed like the theme and aesthetic of it. Um
Yeah.
I think the new mechanics are cool and interesting. Um which we'll talk about, soon. Uh, I haven't been playing standard, so obviously this is like up comes the big rotation. So I
Yeah.
can't really give a good opinion about like how it's going to affect the metagame, considering that everything's going to change so drastically. But it seems like a fun set to play with at like a solid power level. So
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
fan.
I'm gonna have to say that the power level is quite impressive. There's a lot of text, which always it muddies your ability to really value what these cards are because when it's doing so much, you don't know until it goes into play. But I mean, from what I'm looking at, I think the perfect storm of rotation happening and the fact that these cards have so much synergy and stuff going on, I think this will be one of the first sets that really kind of makes a forefront into standard. That's my initial take is we're going to be seeing a lot of bats specifically in standard.
It's funny. Okay, damn. All right, let me say something. Is that my one gripe, I would say, and it's not really a big one because it is what it is. I wouldn't have done it anyway. But I wish there were more bats. I feel like there was not enough bats.
Well, there's bats in, there will be other bats in standard from, the older sets. I mean, just alone, Deep Cavern Bat is a wild card
Yeah.
and it has lifelink. So the big thing with bats is when you gain life or lose life, some wild shit happens. So we're going to be, oh, hold on. I'm pausing this. All
Bats.
right, that Pennsylvania internet, not too good. All right, so yeah, bats. Deep Cavern Bat is already in the set, and it gains life. It's a 1/1 with a life link and flying. It takes the card out of hand, and it's already all over standard. So you can add whatever bats you want, and there's a lot of good ones, and they're all got flying. They all got some sort of shit where they're making tokens, drawing cards, dealing damage, taking things out of hands. It doesn't have to be full bat tribal, but I expect to see a lot of bats around here. So,
Well, I wanted bat tribal, and there's not enough bats for that.
uh, dude,
And
I
commander.
think.
And commander.
Okay. It's funny. I'm not even looking at this set in with eyes for Commander too much yet. I'm just so excited for standard, but for standard decks, yeah, there's bats.
Yeah, bats. So I'm talking about commander. I needed like
Okay.
8 to 10 more good bats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we'll get some secret lairs. I don't know. But yeah, it's the same with frogs a little bit. It's like they made a lot of frogs, but it's not specifically like the merfolk version where it's like, hey, other frogs are doing awesome shit.
Yeah, just like
It's
we're
more
frogs.
yeah, it's hopping. So like a
Yeah.
lot of the frogs want to hop into your hand and come back down and hop into your hand. So that's a weird mechanic. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do with that. But
But there's flubs, my guy.
we're gonna all right. So after all this talk, I want to talk frogs with you.
All right, word.
Because there's 4 commanders that I need to choose from, and I want to see what your thoughts are. But anyway, let's get to these mechanics. What mechanics are in this set?
All right, so first up we have the offspring mechanic where you play a creature, you pay a certain amount as you cast it. So kind of kicker. And then if you do, you make a 1/1 copy of it. So offspring mechanic. Thoughts on offspring?
I think this is one of the most powerful mechanics in this set that's not very flashy. I mean, it's like, okay, I get a little 1/1 of this, but 2 bodies for 1 card and double the effect that each card has. I think this is going to be a mechanic that we see for sure.
Yeah, no, well, first I just side note, love the fact that you're making like a little baby version of like the creature, and like all the tokens are just of little like kids.
Dude, I was hoping they had the tokens. It's great to see they made little baby tokens for all of it.
Yeah, and I think all the artworks also showcase the fact that there's like a baby kind of hanging around. But I do find it funny. Yeah, I do find it funny though that like some of them are like soldiers, and it's like, oh, like child soldier. Here we go.
It's hard out there on Bloomburrow. Yeah.
Yeah. But besides that fact, yeah, I'm a big fan. Some of the effects seem very powerful having like 2 of them. Like I think there's a couple that are at the beginning of your upkeep, like so and so happens, or like this Paw Patch Recruit, 1 mana 2/1 Rabbit Warrior with Offspring 2, so it comes down for 3, and you get a 2/1 and a 1/1 Trample. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell ability and opponent controls, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control other than creature. So I just feel like there's a lot of really like strong 1-drops in this set.
I have quite a few on my list here that I want to talk about.
Right,
1-drop,
so we'll
2-drop City, which makes sense because it's a little
small
world, so low CMC,
But goddamn, the Ian's good at the low CMCs here. I guess MVs now. Look at us, old school, converted mana costs.
Yeah, I know. Ugh.
Mana value.
Listen, everyone's still calling X Twitter. It's hard to shake your habits. That's all.
True.
I'm trying to see if there's an offspring that okay, so here's a bad offspring that I thought was really nice was it's Starscape Cleric, which is a 2 mana 2/1 flying. This creature can't block, but it has offspring for 3, which is a lot. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. I mean, for the most part, you're just going to cast it as a 2/1, but if you get that offspring, I mean, bats are gaining life nonstop. So every life you gain, your opponents are taking 2. And if you stack that up right, I mean, this could be a win con right here for standard. So offspring's really cool. Doubling effects is always good. But what else we got?
So after offspring, gift. Gift is very interesting. So gift is you promise opponent a gift, whatever it may be it a card, a tapped fish, etc. If you do, when the spell resolves, they get the gift, and then the spell has some sort of increased effect based on what gift you're promising.
Yeah,
or based on if you promise the gift or not. Rather.
Yeah. Now I found out, obviously in standard you can only gift your opponent, but in commander you don't have to gift the person that you're targeting with the spell.
It's an opponent.
Yeah, which is cool. So it's like, let me destroy your shit, Joel. But hey, Joey, draw a card, man.
As is the way.
Yes. So what do you think this is powerful? Do you think this is a good mechanic?
I love this mechanic, honestly. I like it because it's like a level of like politicking kind of too. Like you were just saying, like you can give your I obviously don't view things typically through the lens of 1v1. So like when I view it through the lens of commander, like, yeah, you could give, okay, that opponent is struggling. Here's a card. Or like some of the gift is like, give them, like, again, a tapped 1/1 blue fish. Like, I'll give you a tapped 1/1 blue fish all day for like some increased effect. Like, what? I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of gift. I think it's very cool and unique. And I also like the way that they worded it so that like I'm fairly certain if the spell doesn't resolve, they don't get the gift. So like I like the fact that if you're giving someone a gift, they can't like spite you and like counter the spell, but still get their card or their fish or their food.
Yeah, no Indian given in this in
Yeah,
Bloomburrow. So are
and
you
then in
allowed to say that
one v
still?
one, it's like, hey, you want a card? You know,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
counter this.
And it's kind of a gamble too, because I mean, listen, if you're targeting one of the things, you're trying to get rid of something or, hurt something, kill something, and it is that little gamble of like, how much is it worth it? Do I want to double or nothing? See if I could get even more for myself and possibly, take it way advantage, or do I want to, or maybe they're going to get something even better than what I killed. Um, it's fun. It adds more randomness, more thought process, more options. So I'm all for that stuff. What other mechanics we got?
Next up is forage.
Boo! Lame. Boo! I don't like this mechanic. Go ahead, read what it is.
You exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food, and then you get the effect.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. You can't forage early. There's a lot of graveyard removal happening right now, and I know there's a lot of surveil in this set, but I feel like it's a slow setup to get some. None of the forage cards that I read at least are like forage, gain 5 life, forage, draw 2 cards. It's normally like put a 1/1 counter on something. So I think it's a little useless, but I could be wrong.
Watch, it'll be like, yeah, so strong.
Yeah, yeah, foraging and legacy. Well, I mean, honestly, probably the further back you go, the easier it is to get shit in your graveyard.
Oh,
And
100%. Yeah. Pioneer can
so,
definitely forage.
yeah. So again, it's funny, you are looking in Commander, I'm looking at all of this in Standard currently. So it's crazy. They're different games, man. Magic is like not different formats, they're
Yeah.
different games. Wild.
Well, the only thing about foraging too is that like if you're in like a food deck, like I feel like the Abzan commander deck from Lord of the Rings, like Food and Fellowship, is like eating well from this set. You know what I mean? Like you probably just
Yes.
slap this, you know, these
Yeah.
cards right
Yeah.
together with that and make a great card. But
You're
yeah,
right.
because sacrificing a food isn't like a big cost when you have like fairly certain there's 1-drops that make a food token. So
Yeah, you're right. And there's that one Golgari Panther or whatever right now that's all about food. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of food around. And in Commander, there are definitely food commanders where this mechanic is probably awesome because how many life do you need? Normally you end up sitting on more food than you need to pop. So
yeah,
using them for something else is honestly a good option, but I think it's a little underwhelming for Standard currently.
fair. The next one up is Valiant, which is a fixed heroic. Um, which is whenever you target the creature with Valiant with a spell or ability for the first time each turn, it gets some sort of effect.
Now it has to target the creature with Valiant, right? It can't
Yes.
target something else. Okay.
Well, yeah,
All
it's
right.
whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time.
Okay. I like this mechanic. I think that's fine if you're building around it. This isn't something that, just throw Valiants in all decks, but there's definitely power to this, especially in the Boros mouse deck. That's gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
So
I am a little sad. It's cool that they added ability, but like only to the first time because I feel like heroic was like pretty cool in itself because you could use it multiple times, but maybe that's a little too broken.
right. Well, shit like Nadu shows that like you can't just let things go all willy. Oh, I know Nadu says 2 times, and that's
Yeah.
already broken. So like
But
if
I'm
you just
pretty
let
sure that's 2 times per creature, so it's like exponential with how many creatures you have.
right. So yeah, when it
Well,
gets
not
more, when
exponential,
you
but you
could
know what I mean.
target it. Well, yeah, yeah. And listen, there's enough offspring and tokens on here to where maybe as you're moving around, you just keep on making tokens, keep on targeting creatures. you got to put limits on shit nowadays in Magic. There has to be limits because these cards are there's too many cards now. There's too
Yeah,
many
people.
effects.
Yeah,
Things are too powerful.
it'll break things.
Yeah, yeah. The more you put into this stew, the more you know. Two things can synergize just way too well. So we got to be careful.
The
I'm all right,
last
but
thing.
I
Sorry, go
like
on.
this mechanic. I was just saying I like this one. So
Yeah, it's solid. It's like middle of the road for me. I like
hmm.
yeah, gift and uh
Yeah, offspring is
offspring way
great.
much way better.
Yeah,
And
I
then the
won't
last
use
one
offspring though.
you won't.
No, I don't plan on casting much offspring. I'm a very low to the ground player, but I expect to see a lot of offspring around, I guess. So
Well, I'd imagine though, but that's the beauty of offspring though, that if you are low to the ground, the first couple turns you don't spend the mana on it, but then late game when you have a bunch of mana and it's like, why not just cast it for the offspring cost because you have the extra mana.
yeah, that's true. And yeah, I'll try them out for sure. Um, you're right. It is like kicker where it's like, okay, this is a good card to play turn two, but also if I draw this turn seven, uh, it's
I'm
more
gonna kick
powerful.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it.
I'm gonna kick it.
um, and that's the last mechanic we got, right?
Nope, there's one more.
Oh God, what do we got?
Yeah, the last one is expend. I could see why you
Mm,
forgot about it because I think it's fucking boring.
I like that
Uh,
one.
expend an amount is just whenever you spend that much mana to cast spells, the expend is like uh activated.
Yeah. No,
I
I
just
really
think
like
it's
this one.
boring.
Of course it's boring. It's literally something you're gonna do anyway. You're not doing
E-
anything special. You're just casting shit.
Exactly. That's why I feel like it's so uninspired.
That's why I love it. Well, because like so some of them are like expend four, and it's like that's a four drop that says expend four. So it means turn five, you might drop a turn five, and just for no other reason than dropping your turn five, you're gonna get this expend ability of dealing 2 damage to an opponent or something like that, or whatever the effect is. I think that this is like a no-brainer. It says I want to see this as evergreen, I guess is what I'm saying, because it's not too flashy, but it's definitely something that can help a deck. So
Yeah.
and put expend seven, like but put high
Make it
level
work for it.
expends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that one.
It's not that I don't like the effect, so to speak. It's just that I feel like it's boring.
Yes.
Like I'll
Which is
use an expend card. I won't like, oh, I'm never gonna use expend. I just think it's a boring like design.
yeah. I I agree. Yeah. It's boring. But, you know, putting on your shoes is boring, but damn, that's useful. So
Yeah,
I'm over.
exactly.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the putting on your shoes of magic mechanics.
I'm all for it. That's
You
cool.
heard it here
Okay, so
first, folks.
so these are the mechanics. These are fun mechanics.
Yes.
None of them are really a dud. I mean, I know I kind of made fun of forage, but it's still that's a cool mechanic of like now you want to gather your food up and forage the food, and so all very flavorful.
There's
Um,
one more like pseudo mechanic actually,
which is
which doesn't have a name, but like it's only I'm fairly certain it's only been done here, which is the paw print like spending on the cycle of the season of cycle.
yeah. I spent a lot of time looking to find out how you get these paw print things. I thought it was like energy, where like every time you cast a creature, you get a paw print, or like, when you cast it, the amount of creatures you have is the amount of, and then I realized that it's literally just when you do it, you get 5 paw prints. So
Yeah.
it's weird, but I guess it makes sense. Um, do you like the season cards? Because I think they're
Yeah.
way overpowered, man.
I think they're
That's a
very,
lot.
very good. The blue
Yeah.
one is pretty gross.
Yeah, all of them. They all are, and we'll cover all of them because that's a good cycle that I'm sure we'll go over. Um, but so okay, so those are the mechanics. I've been saying you should join standard. I kind of looking through this. I kind of forgot that rotation is happening in addition to these cards coming in. So
Yeah.
I don't even know what standard is going to look like. But like, is this set and the fact that rotation's happening enough to get you away from Marvel Snap a little bit, or is it you're going to play Marvel Snap until you get your fix and then maybe mosey on over?
Well, I'm definitely gonna try. Like I'm making the conscious effort to try just to see like if I can if I can find that spark again. Definitely starting with some Bloomburrow drafting, to get some cards down there.
Yeah.
Um, and then so actually secretly, the store championship first place promo for this like set is a fucking textless Urza saga. And I'm like, damn, that's a fucking sick promo. Kind of want to like, I kind of like want to try to win that. And then
Yeah.
like playing on arena is a great way to get like tons of reps in. The
Yeah.
only problem with that though is that I get torn between, okay, I should just net deck whatever in the top like 3 or 5 decks and play that a bunch and get good with that because that's likely what I'll be seeing in the field anyway. And then my other side of me, which is like, oh, build your like fun pet like kind of deck and see if it works, which like never happens, like it's never as good as like the decks that all the pros are using. So that
Y-
always kind of like dissuades me sometimes.
y- I think you have to meet it in the middle somewhere because I've watched you net deck for these formats before, and it gets stale for you very quickly. It's you're using someone else's passion to play, and you get numbers, but you're missing that enjoyment that standard's supposed to give you. So I think you've got to put your own, you know, stank on it and do what you want to play. But just there's some staples that it's like, well, obviously you want to run a deep cavern bats nowadays. Obviously you want to run, the 2 red mana removal spell that deals 5 damage if you're in red. And there's like
Yeah,
these. So you make sure you fill it up with those good cards and a good mana base, and then you play the cards you want to play because standard is, especially right now as all this shit's rotating out, there's not going to be too many, you know, top-notch bona fide, this is the best deck, this is what you got to play happening. So I would say take advantage of this fresh breath of brewing and build time and, you know, get that stank.
stank. Put some stank on it.
Yeah, dude. It'll be good. And I mean, Troy's chomping at the bit for some standard paper. So I mean, we could probably get, the Three Musketeers back out to that nerd field. So
Yeah, as long as there's no fish.
yeah, no, we're gonna do it. We'll do it. So I'm excited to see. And I'm going to find out. I am gifting you $20 worth of gems in order to. The problem is like for Xbox, it's like, oh, I'll send you an Xbox gift card, but or like I'll just gift you the gems in Roblox or something. There's no way to like gift shit, so I'm gonna find a way. But you're gonna take it. You're gonna draft. You're gonna sealed. You're gonna do whatever you got to do. But I'm investing in your future, brother, because this is one hell of a set, and I think you're missing out on a ton of fun on Arena right now. So
Word.
hell
Snap
yeah.
is fun though. Snap is a great time.
It is. It is. Um, but it doesn't fill my gaping hole for magic. So
That gaping hole.
yeah, and listen, you put it in my magic hole and my Marvel hole. I got I got plenty of holes to
Many
fill.
holes to fill here, boy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, man. So why don't you start us off with some cards that you're really taken back by this? And now, are
You want
you
to
looking
break
at
it down
this?
by color?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do the Wooburg way, and we'll start with white. Um, let me pull up my mythic spoiler here. Now, are you when you were going through this? Is this through the eyes of Commander? So, like, you're going to be looking through this through Commanders mainly, right?
Pretty much exclusively.
Okay, cool. And again, I didn't even look at this through Commander for the most part. It's mostly standard. So this will be a nice mix to hit it both. And I'm sure there's some cards that cross over and do both.
Okay, so yeah, some white cards. So Beza, the Bounding Spring, 4 mana, 4/5, Elemental Elk. ETB, create a treasure if an opponent controls more lands. Gain 4 life if a opponent has more life. 2/1/1 blue fish. An opponent controls more creatures, and draw a card if they have more cards in hand. So it's like every white catch-up mechanic stapled on one card, which I will gladly blink as many times as possible.
Yeah, and It's a 4/5 for 4 mana too. So,
Yeah, so
so
it's
it's like,
the stats are there.
yeah.
The stats are there, and then yeah, like I love this as the top end in like a. So okay, this is something I would consider playing in standard because I feel like it's a great top end for like a low curve deck.
Yeah. No, that makes sense 100%. And, you drop it early, you get a 4/5 and, one or two of those perks. You drop it late and you're behind the 8 ball and the resources that you gain is out of control. Man, I opened this window. Those cars are loud. I shut I
Are they
swept
street
windows.
racing?
Pretty much, man. Dude, PA cars, they don't have a lot of things they need to take care of before you're registered. So the shit that drives by my house is out of control. But anyway,
Yeah, cardboard
yeah,
box of wheels.
it just helps you. The further behind you are, the better this card gets, which is I mean everything you could ask for. A card that scales to how much you're getting your ass kicked. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's the white way.
Yeah.
All right, so the first season of card is Season of the Burrow. It's 5 mana. You get your 5 little paws, and it's 1 paw to create a 1/1 white rabbit. 2 paws to exile non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card. 3 paws, return target permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it.
So good.
Thoughts? Yeah,
This is so good. Okay, so just right off the bat, 5 mana, 5 tokens is crazy because there's a lot of stuff that ETBs. You want ETB triggers. You want
yeah,
creatures entering the battlefield. For 5 mana to get 5 triggers of whatever while getting 5 bodies is a lot. So I mean, I see myself if I was to put this into a deck right off the bat because I need ETB triggers, I want tokens, I want bodies. This card's amazing. But the fact that you get something from the graveyard, put an indestructible counter on it, and then also get 2 bodies. So that's still
yeah.
3 ETBs, one from your graveyard, one has indestructible. The middle one, I mean, if you need to
Break in
remove
case of
stuff,
emergency. Yeah,
yeah. And it's exile target non-land permanent.
permanent. Yeah, so
Anything,
it's got
anything you
reach.
fucking want. Yeah, anything you want. And then its controller draws a card. But like you can get rid of 2 things, in Commander, 2 different opponents' shit. They each draw a card, but then you also get a little 1/1. I love this one.
Yeah, great season. Great
Plus
season.
the little bunny, the frog, and the mice in the artwork.
Yeah,
They're so fucking adorable with all them angry
yeah.
wolves
All
around
the
them.
art can't speak highly enough about the art.
10 out of 10 on the art.
Yeah,
For how
adorable.
much they kind of flubbed the cowboy aesthetic.
Yeah, this
And
is
I
killing it.
liked it too, but yeah, this is, I mean, just leagues above. So, all right, let's see here.
Um, all right, Warren War Leader, another card that I saw. These mythics are killing it in white.
Yeah,
Um, 4 mana for a 4/4 rabbit knight, having the knight typing is great. Um, Offspring 2, so 6 mana if you want to bring out your little baby. Whenever you attack, so it doesn't have to attack, just whenever anything attacks. Create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token that's tapped and attacking. So is that Goblin War Leader or no? Is that Krenko? Krenko did that or does that?
I'm
Who
not
brings
a
the
goblin
goblin out
trader.
when he attacks? Or
Oh,
maybe
oh,
it's Squee. I can't remember.
no, I
Squee
think
or
you're right. I think it
Krenko.
was Cranko. I think it's Cranko. Yeah,
Um,
the new Cranko. Yeah,
yeah, the newest one. And then attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 till the end of the turn. So if you do pay the offspring cost and anything attacks, like you could just choose both +1/+1s on you and the baby, and everything gets +2/+2 when it's attacking,
yeah. Even
or
if you
make a
just
bunch of
attack
little
with the two of them,
tokens. Yeah,
because then it's a 6/6 and a 3/3. Like that's 9 damage coming at you for 4 mana just because they attack. Well, 6 mana, I guess, because you got to offspring it. But
yeah,
yeah, a sure way for white to get bodies. Because a 4/4 to block and a 1/1 is a chump block. Just for the 4 mana is good, but then if you go on the offensive, you're getting a lot, dude. The token production in this set is out of control. I think it's very important as we move forward building decks right now to have low mana board wipes like Brotherhood's End, and I don't know if that's rotating out. But stuff like that, that's like deal 3 damage to all creatures, -2 to all creatures. Any sort of low end board wipes should be considered in every deck you're building now for
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think Brotherhood's End is rotating though, isn't
it probably is, but I'm sure there's some red card that, deals 2 damage to all creatures, something.
It's finally leaving. Hold on. Let's see real quick.
Ooh, yeah, okay, yeah, because I don't know what is actually in standard. I think it starts in March, so I think Brothers War leaves, and then it's everything after that.
No. No. Apparently Innistrad, Kamigawa, and Streets of New Japan are gone, but Dom Yu, Brothers War, Phyrexia, March of the Machine are not till next year.
Okay, cool. So yeah, run your Brotherhood's Ends. Good. That's actually, I thought more was rotating out this year. Damn.
I also thought more was rotating out.
I mean,
Huh.
all
Why
right.
did I feel like that was a bigger rotation?
Well, because we've been in this fucking standard for so fucking long that it feels like there should be a big fucking unload, but I
Yeah,
guess not.
damn, no. Because I was about to say it's like, oh, fucking no more Shieldred, but Shieldred is here to stay for another year.
Yeah. Which I honestly I don't know how much it's going to be run. At least not to the level that it is
Really?
currently. Yeah. Yeah, I
That's a
really
hot
do.
take, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think mono black is going to be a thing. I think there's stronger synergies happening right now to where just, having a shield. Listen, there's going to be one or two ofs, but I think people are going to stop running the four ofs and depending on Shieldred to win the game. That's my
Word.
opinion.
Okay, that's yeah. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying there.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be two ofs instead of four ofs. They're going to replace it with some weird bat or some bullshit like that. But all right. Essence Channeler is a 2-mana 2/1 bat cleric. As long as you've lost life this turn, Essence Channeler has flying and vigilance. And whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on Essence Channeler. When Essence Channeler dies, put its counters on target creature you can control. So I mean, it's a 2-mana 2/1 flyer, which is good. Oh no, it's not a flyer. But if you've lost life, it gains flying and vigilance.
But
If you
also,
gain
fuck
life,
that.
it
It's
gets
a
one.
bat. It doesn't have flying. Get out of here.
Well, he's an Essence Chandler, He's I don't know.
So it
Yeah, no,
makes
you're right.
and
You're right.
his wings. Look at the size of his fucking wings.
Dude, I know. But there's a lot. So again, Deep Cavern Bat, you play the Deep Cavern Bat, you take the removal out of their hand as you do, and then you play him next turn, you attack, he gets a 1/1 counter on him. You play, some shit that you pay 1 life to draw 2 cards. Now he has flying and vigilance. You attack with both bats, you gain the life. Now he's a 3/3. He fucking dies. You put the counters on the other bat. He's got enough moving around to where when he's out, you kind of have to remove him first, because if you allow him to get bigger, he's just going to pump someone else. These are the kind of cards I love, where they're annoying and then they get powerful. So
Yeah. You always
and
have to
like,
watch yourself.
yeah, just like give him lifelink or something, put it, we got a lot of cards on here. Actually, we'll go over an enchantment that I really love that would be great to attach to him. We'll get to that later, but we'll keep on moving down the line. So that's bat number 2 we're talking about, or one. I'm not fucking counting, but we're going to talk bats. And at the end of it, I think you should build a bat commander deck, standard deck. That's where I'm rooting. All right. What else you got?
Skipping around a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
One card that I saw that was super cool is White Heroic Intervention. Dawn's Truce, 1 and a white, instant, gift a card. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until the end of the turn. And if you promise the gift, then permanents you control also gain indestructible. So awesome. You can pay 2 and not give them a gift and just get the hexproof if that's relevant. Or you can give them a card and get the indestructible if it's like a board wipe situation. Or if you're swinging out too, you can use it in that. So White Heroic Intervention is cool.
Yeah, and for 2 mana, you can't beat it. I'll definitely be picking up some of these for commander. I need
Absolutely.
2 of them for sure. I mean, for draft, this is going to be kind of a bummer. Like one of your rare slots are going to be this.
This, yeah.
You, you know, you need bombs, but in constructed, this will be awesome. Starfall Invocation, 3 white, white. Destroy all creatures. If the gift was promised, which is just gifting a card, return a creature card put into the graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. So it's a 5 mana board wipe, and then if you really want one of your creatures back, you just give your opponent a card. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I think we're losing Path to Peril, so this will kind of replace Path to Peril. All right, Jolly Gerbils, 1 and a white. Whenever you gift, draw a card. So you get a card, I get a card. Gift Tribal. And it's a 2 mana 2/3. And it's adorable. And they're holding a fish with a bow. I love this card. Hamster Citizen. He's a citizen.
Yeah. Fucking Hamtaro out here.
Oh, I love it. So it's a good support card. So if you are going to be running all this gifting stuff, or let's say you in Commander you build well, one of the decks is a kind of like a group hug deck, right?
Yeah, group hug like rabbit deck.
So, yeah, so if you're doing group hug and you're doing gift cards, he's a great little guy to put in there.
Yeah, white's pretty cool. Valley Quest Caller for support. I liked how they're doing like batches in the set of like whenever one or more other rabbits, bats, birds, or mice you control enter. So they're doing everything that has like the white pip. I think every color has a version of this. But then other ones get, the Lord for those tribes. So it's like you can make more of a mixed group. It doesn't have to be so tribally in terms of like only bats or only mice.
Yeah. Which when I'm talking about building my frog commander deck, I'm considering putting rabbits in it too. Just or some other fucking thing, just because it gives you that ability where if you're you're using just frogs, some cards say frogs so and so, so maybe I put in little other creatures. I gotta, because the frogs aren't all working together, but,
but there's some cool ass fucking frog commanders though.
Yeah we'll make it work. My problem, well, again, we'll get into we'll finish on frogs. Gross.
Repel Calamity, 1 and a white instant. Destroy target creature with power toughness 4 or greater. I like that it's power or toughness.
I wish it was modal and it had like one other thing, like you cast it, put a 1/1 counter on a creature. Like I just wish it had one extra modal thing. But
what are you running? That or Sonar Strike? 4 damage to target attacking, blocking, or tapped creature. You gain 3 life if you control a bat.
Honestly, it's probably Sonar for me, just because it'll get rid of all that low annoying shit. I hate when the whole when there's a 2 mana removal spell in my hand that I can't use until turn 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a 1/4 for 2 mana, which do you really want to destroy that? So I don't know. I'm always iffy when it limits it. Even like there's all those black cards that are like, destroy target creature with CMC 3 or above. I'm not playing those. I don't like that shit. If I want to remove something, I want to remove something. So I would go for the 4 damage. You? Which one would you run?
I feel like I would run like a 2 of Repel Calamity.
Okay.
Because I don't see myself running a bat. And then I would run something else to like get rid of something lower, depending on what colors I'm in.
Well, actually, yeah, the fact that it's attacking, blocking, or tapped, correct, for the Sonar one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of sucks too, because like what if it's just a shield druid sitting there?
Yeah, just say it's fucking you up.
Yeah. And it can't destroy a shield druid, but the other one can. Okay.
Sonar Strike and Limited, though, is huge.
Yeah. For sure. All right, that's fair. All right, Star Charter. 3 and a white, Bat Cleric. It's an uncommon 3/1 with flying. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life this turn, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 3 or less from among them and put it into your hand. So it's unlimited if you're drafting bats. This is a bat that gets you more bats. You're gaining life anyway, and it's gain or lose. It's like as long as your life total changes, go get something from your deck. And white is such a good color for doing shit like this, of just continuously getting more creatures in hands. They're not big, but they never stop coming. Ooh, damn.
All right, white's good.
Yeah. Can I just say Dewdrop Cure is the best artwork in this set?
Yeah.
So Dewdrop Cure, it's 2 and a white. It's you can gift a card, return up to 2 target creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you get to the battlefield, 2 of them. Instead, return up to 3 target creature cards with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield if you gifted a card. So, I mean, you can get 6 mana worth of creatures, 3 bodies, whatever you got to do with it, and you just got to gift a card. But again, he's a little hurt mouse reaching for the dew. I love it.
Yeah, love that.
I feel like there's more cards in this set than any other set. I'm scrolling, and this is just so much.
Man,
We're in uncommons now. Anything else in white you want to shout out?
no, I got my whites out of the way.
All right, then let me just say Bright Blade Stoet, which is 1 and a white. So it's a 2 mana 2/2 Weasel Soldier, and it's got first strike and lifelink. Normally a 2 mana 2/2 has first strike or lifelink. This one's got both, and I love it. Great for limited. Draft the shit out of these.
Oh yeah.
All right. Blue. What do we got for blue?
Blue, we got
Let's cover the season. Yeah, let's cover the season.
The season is fucking gross. All right, 6 mana, sorcery, 5 paws, 1 paw, draw a card, 2 paws, choose artifact or creature you control to make a copy, create a token copy of it, 3 paws, return each non-land, non-token permanent to its owner's hand.
How are you using this? If you cast this, what are your abilities you're using?
Drawing 5 cards.
6 mana, draw 5 cards. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But it's I mean, realistically, it's probably going to be making a copy of something and drawing a card, or if it's something really good, making 2 copies of something and drawing a card.
You have a Consecrated Sphinx out. You make 2 copies of that. You only need to draw 1 card because you're drawing 5 cards on everybody's turn anyway. You know.
Or the copy board wipe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because you can even just do artifacts. Copy an artifact, do a board wipe, copy your Soul Ring, return everything to everyone's hands. Now you're ahead again. That's some tempo shit for blue. If the board's out of control and card draw ain't gonna save you, just return everything, set up, get ready.
Copy your Ulamog and return everything.
Gross. Well, wouldn't Ulamog also return then?
Well, you destroy because of legendary rule, so you destroy. Well, no, because state-based actions haven't occurred yet, because it waits till the resolution of the ability. So wouldn't it be make a copy, then return the original to your hand? So now you have like just an Ulamog token out.
Bro, that's a smart way to use this. Where any legendary, you do the copy, you return that legendary to the hand. Well, it's going to go to its owner's hand anyway.
Yeah, so you get to keep the token out.
I don't see how that works. Explain that again.
Return each non-land, non-token permanent to its owner's hand.
Okay, that's the part I missed. Okay, nice. All right, fucking good season. Which also, I love that the lands have 4 versions of each,
with the
whatever
seasons.
it is each season. Bro,
the seasons have rarities, bro. That's insane.
What's the rarest season?
I think it's winter.
Damn, I would make spring the rarest because I treasure spring.
Same.
And it's the most beautiful. I'm sure there's flowers and all that shit. Okay, let's keep on going. I just realize we're not even through blue yet.
We might have to break it up into
Yeah, split
two.
it halfway. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So at an hour, we'll pause it and then we'll talk about whatever shit we need to after that, and we'll
word.
save the rest for later.
Eluge, Eluge. I wish they had a pronunciation guide for half this shit.
I like
Eluge,
Eluge.
Eluge,
Yeah.
Eluge, the Shoreless Sea, which is a fucking coolest name, a cool name. Uh, it's 1 and 3 blue pips for a star. Power and toughness equal to the number of islands you control. When it ETBs or attacks, put a flood counter on target land. It's an island in addition to its other types for as long as it has a flood counter on it. And the first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 1 blue pip or 1 colorless, less to cast for each land. Sorry, 1 generic. I know it's not colorless anymore. Less to cast for each land you control with a flood counter on it. Wow. What a
Yeah.
fucking beater.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Mono
gonna
blue,
get big.
dude. I kind of this makes you want to do mono blue with like haughty gin.
You
And
know,
this is
you
the
can
top end.
the beauty of it is you can do two color, like splash in a second color and then just turn those lands into blue. So that way you can be
True.
mainly blue, but you can always splash in another color while being kind of mono blue, because red, you're going to want a little red in there. Some of the Izzet cards here are crazy for instants and sorceries and such. So, um, yeah, Luge is a nice way of allowing you to blue the shit out of everything, but also have another color in there, right? Because when you put the it's an island in addition to its other types. Yeah, so your mountains will still also be mountains. Interesting. Yeah, and then cheaper instants and sorceries. But like I said, if you do a little bit of red, you can get a little bit of copying spells and really get the most out of it. Sick artwork on that card too.
Yeah.
Whatever that any sea monster poking out of the ocean scares the shit out of me. Just seeing that big
There's a
mouth,
name for that fish. I forget what it's called. A
I don't
nar
like
or
it.
something. Mark would know.
We're gonna see him in a little bit. Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Gar.
Agar. That sounds right.
It could be a gar. I
Yes,
don't
I like it. That sounds correct to me.
know.
So there's a lot of otters in blue. A lot of the otters want to be copying spells, casting spells, storming spells. That shit confuses me, man. Again, when we played with and Melissa's deck was doing the copying and the storming, dude, that shit turns me off faster than nah. Nope, not gonna say it. Not self censor. Um, yeah, so the otters I look past. Are you interested in these otters and what they're doing?
No, because my I have my spell slinger fix already, and I'm not trying to otter it out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Dower Port Mage is
Yeah, I was
one in a
just looking at
blue.
that.
Yeah, one in a blue for a 1/3. Whenever one or more other creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. So obviously, what's it, Brago or whatever. I mean, bounce decks are going to love the shit out of this. But you could also pay one in a blue and tap the Frog Wizard to return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. So he can do it himself to get you that card draw. So it's 2 mana, tap it, return, draw a card, which you can't beat it, especially in protection. Someone targets your shit. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to return it to my hand. I'm going to draw a card. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Good
ETB.
frog. Yeah.
And I like how pissed he looks. He looks fucking dour as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's like, fucking, dude, what, bro? Find your mooring and stop clogging the shipping lanes. He's pissed.
Yeah, dude. No tolerance on that frog whatsoever. Oh shit. Let's see what else we got here.
Portent of Calamity, I think, is cool. X blue, reveal the top X cards of your library. For each card type, you may exile a card of that type from among them, put the rest into your graveyard. You may cast a spell from among the exiled cards without paying its mana cost. If you exiled four or more cards this way, put the rest of the exiled cards in your hand. I know this isn't great, but this is perfect for loot,
Oh shit. Yes.
which is built around having different card types and casting things from exile, and then you get the rest of your hand.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, in a dire emergency, you cast it for under, under 4 or under 5, but ideally this is going to be something you drop late and then you look through enough cards that the card you cast is going to be massive, well worth your mana value, and then you also get cards in hand. And then like you said in your, your ability with what's it, loot, you're going to get added value on top. So it's a good card for commander. Hell yeah. Standard,
Hell
I
yeah.
don't know.
No.
I don't know. I hear people talking about, oh, this is how you get out Atraxa. This is how you're going to do it. It's like a shitty Atraxa. I don't agree with that at all. I think this is not going to be playable in standard. Watch it take over standard.
You heard it here first.
All right. Eddie Merc Crab, 5 blue. So that's a 7 mana 5/5 with flash. The spell costs
Eddie
one
Murphy
less to
Crab.
Eddie Murphy Crab. Let's do the altar. So this costs one less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Eddie Merc Crab enters tapped if it's not your turn, and when it enters, tap up to 2 target creatures. So this kind of reminds me of the snake, where it could be a 2 mana 5/5 because you're going to do instants and sorceries, little cantrips, card draw, whatever the fuck. But you can cast it on your turn, but most likely you're going to cast it on your opponent's turn. Yes, it comes in tapped, but you're tapping the 2 creatures that were going to attack at you anyway. So for 2 mana, get a 5/5, tap down 2 of your opponent's creatures, and then on your turn, you could swing out with this 5/5 because they're tapped down, and you have all the mana in your hand because you didn't have to cast it on that turn also. So I think Eddie Merc Crab is going to be a monster in limited, but because of its ability to be cast for 2 mana from instance and sorceries, Constructed is going to use this too.
Yeah, that's cool. Eddie Merc Crab.
Yeah.
What do you think about Mockingbird?
I think for Commander, it's really good. Scalable copy.
You don't think
So
it has
okay,
legs in standard?
depends on what's running around. So it's X and a blue for a 1/1 flyer. You may have Mockingbird enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the amount of mana cost to cast it, except it's a bird with addition and it has flying. So I mean, if your opponent has a Shieldred, you can 5 mana get your own flying Shieldred. It's good. I would personally rather just remove my opponent's good creature than copy it. Unless you do both, have your cake and eat it too.
Porque no los
But
dos.
yeah, but I don't see myself running Mockingbird at all. At all.
Fair.
Let's see what else we got in blue here. Anything good? Oh, Plum Creed Escort, which is a 1 in a blue 2/1 bird scout. It's an uncommon. It has flash, flying, and when it enters, target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Typically 2 mana to protect the creature is on rate. But the fact that you get a 2/1 flyer body with flash to do so, I really, really like this card. I think this is a really nice utility card to protect what you're doing. And then you have a 2/1 flyer also, by the way. So
Yeah, it just bops people.
yeah, it's like, fuck you, I keep that creature. And also I have another creature on
Yeah,
your turn.
and
My
it's
turn,
flying.
I'm swinging both at you. Yeah.
Yep, and it's fucking flying.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I like Long River Lurker. It's a 3 mana 2/3 frog with ward 1. Other frogs you control have ward 1. When it enters, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Whenever that creature deals combat damage this turn, you may exile it. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. That's a lot. That's a lot for a 3 mana 2/3 with ward.
I feel like Shore Up is out of place. Target creature you control gets it's 1 mana instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1. Gains hexproof to the end of turn. Untap it. It just kind of seems like is that kind of what like Green's up to with like Tamiyo's safekeeping and
Yeah.
hot
Well,
call cards?
Shore Up is a huge card. I think it's in standard still. It's probably rotating, but I mean, I
Oh,
see
it's in
people.
standard?
Yeah, a lot of times people will cast Shore Up to protect their venerated rot priest because it targets it, it
Oh,
gets the trigger, and
yeah.
then it's protected. So I guess
What?
they're just reprinting it to keep it in standard. It might be rotating.
Yeah. Damn. I didn't realize it
Yeah.
was already in standard.
I mean, think about it with Valiant too. You know, if
Oh
you're running
yeah.
it with Valiant, you protect, you untap, you fucking
Oh,
get
it's
your
in
Valiant
Dom
trigger.
U.
Oh, so it's still in then. Okay.
It's a fucking crab, yeah.
Yeah. I like the crab art better than this art, honestly, but
Yeah, honestly.
um
Do you like the classes? Do you like that classes are back?
yes, I do. And
Yeah,
a
I
lot
think
of
classes are pretty
some of the
cool.
classes are good. Yeah. Sagas and classes that they know that those are good card types and they put it in here.
I
There's
think
some good.
Wishing Well is garbage.
Yeah, dude, I remember us saying that that's gotta be some awesome mythic, and it's
No, it's
poop on a stick.
trash, dude. Yeah, it's your pre-release promo. That's what it is.
I don't know if you remember Brain in a Jar, that
Yes,
2
I
mana,
do. I
and
do
I
very
played the fuck out of Brain in a Jar. I forced it in every constructed deck I could.
and how'd that work out for you?
Not good, and this is even worse. So so I learned my
uh,
lesson, fool me once.
yeah, no, it's just the fact that it doesn't say or less.
Yeah,
Like fuck
yeah,
you.
yeah,
It's
you have to target it,
yeah.
and you can never
What?
rewind it, you know?
Yeah. It's too much manipulation. It's already fucking 4 mana to get out. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sure there's some commander cards, some commander decks that are like, oh yeah, this is what I need. It's an artifact. It'll cast all my instants. But I don't see a home for this at all. Even in limited, like if you
Yeah.
draft this,
Boo.
it's not going in your deck. You know,
Nope.
how many instances of sorceries do you have in draft that are like on curve that you intend to cast for free? That you fuck out of here. Any last blue cards?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna say Runaway Together. We know that card. It's a 2 mana instant. Two target creatures controlled by different players return them to their hand. The artwork is this watercolored otter and frog holding hands in a little boat, and the flavor text is nobody bothered to look for Lebo and Pula because everybody knew they didn't want to be found. It is so wholesome. This is my fucking favorite flavored looking card. I mean, the little dew mouse is the cutest, but this
Yeah,
is
this is up
special
there.
to me.
It tells a
I
whole
want a foil
story.
version. Yeah, dude. Oh, the art style, like the way the watercolor is so soft, the way they're, everything, the lily pads hanging over it, it's fucking top notch.
And not too
All
bad
right.
in Commander, honestly. It's not unreasonable. I mean, Unsummon is 1 mana. It gets run probably more in like budget decks, but like this isn't the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely, especially if you're doing that frog shit where you want shit to your hand. For 2 mana, you get it to your hand, and you also return your opponent's largest creature to hand. That way, they have to recast it. So it might honestly be playable as well in this fucking environment. All right, we are at 1 hour. We'll hold off on the other colors, but are there any other cards you want to shout out, like any multicolors, anything that you just got to get off your chest?
Um, yeah, I would say that if I were to point out anything specifically, hold on, let me go to the full spoiler again. It would be all right. Actually, let me flip this question on you real quick, and then is there anything that stood out? Any one card, if you had to pick one card, if of any, that you would want to build as a commander deck? Like that, you're like, oh yeah, let's do your frogs. Didn't you have like frogs to?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll cover that last, but we'll save all frogs for that final statement.
Okay, okay, okay.
But
So
aside
would your
from
answer be a
frogs,
frog?
well, that's a guaranteed yes. Yes, I am building a frog. There's 4 options that we need to go through on that. But aside from frogs, what I would build first is they're both going to be Rakdos. It's a tie, and they all work together because they are both outlaws. So outlaws got a lot of love in here. There are a lot of warlocks. There are a lot of mercenaries. There are assassins. There are rogues. So this is a second set of mercenaries, and I don't know if people are looking at that, but take note. There are a lot of mercenaries, and mercenaries are already so fucking powerful. Like Laughing Jackson or whatever from the other set, that card is out of control. I really mean it when I say mercenaries are going to be a thing. But the infamous Cruel Claw, which is one black red, so it's a 3 mana 3/3 menace. When she deals combat damage to a player, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an on-land card. You may cast that card by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. So you get a free. You have to discard something, but I mean, you're in black red. You don't care. And sometimes you got madness going on, and sometimes you want it in the graveyard. I love it. I think this is a cool commander. If you can build it where you just up its evasion a little bit more, you could just be constantly casting shit for free. And if you have madness in mind, which is one of my favorite mechanics still, you could do a lot of fun stuff with this. And then the other version of my mercenary commander build that I would do if I had the time and money fits hand in hand with this fella. Where is he? He is Gev Scaled Scorch, which is a black red. So it's a 2 mana 3/2 with ward, pay 2 life. Other creatures you control enter with an additional 1/1 counter on them for each opponent who lost life this turn, which, you know, if you do the morning pings right on the ETB, you deal 1 damage to everybody. Creatures are going to be coming in with +3/+3, well, 3/1/1 counters. And then whenever you cast a lizard spell, Gev deals 1 damage to target opponent. So now hear me out on this one. If you have out Gev and you cast a lizard, the lizard enters. It's going to deal 1 damage to each opponent. Is that damage gonna put the 3/1/1 counters on them if they haven't taken any damage? No, right? It sees the first part of the card first, no damage has happened, and then it'll deal the damage. Correct?
Yeah, that's what I think.
So you'd have to cast a lizard and then cast another creature, and that second creature will get the
How do you
+3
spell it?
+3. GEV, Scaled Scorch. I just
All
like that
right.
it's kind of like a lizard tribal too, but really he's an outlaw commander.
And then your question was, if you cast a lizard, do you get the 1/1 counter on it?
Well, you'd get 3/1/1 counters because it'll deal 1 damage to target opponent. Okay, yeah. But so you cast a lizard, it deals 1 damage. Are you getting that 1/1 counter? No, right?
Yes.
You are. It
Yeah.
happens at the same time.
Because so when you cast it, so now you cast it, they take a damage, and then it enters the battlefield for each opponent who lost life this turn.
You're right.
So
Okay.
one person did, so they get the counter.
So the cast. Okay, I was reading it as when it enters. So you're right, 100%. So dude, I love this. I think it's a great way if you're doing mercenaries. You have a low to the ground commander, and you just start going. So that's what I
I'm
would
so
build.
shocked that you chose Rakdos commanders.
I know, man. I know it's kind of out of pocket for me, but
Yeah,
you
really?
know what it is? Beyond the fact that it's Rakdos, I've been really trying to make an outlaw commander deck. So it's already something that's in my palette, and just seeing 2 new cards for it just kind of makes me salivate all over again.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I know. How about you? What in this set is making you think about building, whether you do it or
Uh,
not?
the one that's tempted me the most is actually, real quick before I continue, I forgot to mention this. You said Cruel Claw as one of your first ones, correct?
Yes.
Did you see the cheeky running 98 lands Cruel Claw and then World's Fire? And then just,
No.
dude, I feel like that would be fun. We're playing some stuff out loud now. We're getting some.
I don't even know what that fucking was. What is staticky on my phone? Anyway, okay. So how does that work though?
All right, so Cruel Claw is you deal damage and then you exile to hit a non-land, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so the only card that you run in your deck besides lands is World's Fire, which is a 9 mana spell sorcery. Exile all permanents, exile all cards from all hands and graveyards. Each player's life total becomes 1.
Gross.
So the idea being that then it's a race to see who can hit the other opponents for 1 first. And then since you're playing all lands, like you're gonna hit your land drops, so you know that you're gonna have Cruel Claw out on 5. So it's just a gamble to see if you can beat your opponents like playing like a threat
I don't like that at
with
all,
lands.
man.
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't actually put you at advantage at all.
No, it just changes the game to like a weird scramble where who can
That's
get lands
trash.
out to play something to poke everyone else for 1.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I
That's too
love
mean.
that. I love that. I don't think it's everyone's. It's equal. It's equal for everyone, except for the fact that you
You
know for a
would like
fact
this.
5
Ugh.
turns from now your menace creature is going to be back out. So
Okay. 5 turns
there's
from now,
there's a
your
5. They have
opponent's
5 turns to draw lands to play a 1-drop to poke you for 1.
okay, and your opponents only dropped 3 lands while you had the 5, but they have removal in hand. And you play your 5 drop, they remove. Oh shit! Wait, there's no cards in hand, right? The whole library goes.
Yes, it's top. It's cards in hand, graveyards,
Okay.
and
Okay. All right. So then your opponents still have an arsenal of shit. They don't need
no,
as much. They 2
it's
mana
hands as
destroy
well.
something. Right. But I mean, there's still their deck has removal. Their deck has
Yeah,
protection.
but then they have to draw 2 lands to play the removal.
I
You know
picture
what I
this
mean?
sounds like some
Like, so
Blim
sure,
shit. I
if
don't
you if
know.
you drew if you drew your 2 mana removal spell, cool. You still need to wait minimum 2 more turns to draw 2 lands to play that removal. And if you're in multiple colors, who's to say the lands are the right color? And whilst your opponent in their Cruel Claw deck is just playing lands every single turn because that's their entire deck.
Okay, this is the cheapest deck in the world to build. You just have to buy
Yeah,
2 cards. We
yeah.
might as well. We might as well try it out.
Why not? Why
For science.
not? For science.
The most expensive thing will be buying the sleeves for this deck. So, all right.
I
I'm
love that
down.
idea. I saw that on Reddit. Actually, no, Worldfire is a $15 card, so
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
but still.
I'm gonna proxy that 1 card.
Yeah,
And
the 1 card, yeah,
just to make it even worse. It's like,
I
oh,
just
this
want
deck
to
that's
see how
annoying. It's
fun it
also
would
proxy.
be, yeah.
All right, I like it.
All right, so
Just
fuck
we
that.
have to
All
do
right.
it. All right. So what
So yeah,
would you build?
my temptation for building was Mr. Foxglove. 2
Okay.
and
Main set
Bant.
or is that commander?
That's a commander. I think it's the
Okay.
alt commander for the Bant deck, but it's 2 and Bant for a 3/5 Fox Rogue who looks dashing, by the way. Furries are eating good this set, by the way, so
Ooh,
enjoy that, furries. But lifelink, and whenever Mr. Foxglove attacks, draw cards equal to the number of cards in defending player's hand minus the number of cards in your hand. If you didn't draw any cards this way, you may put a creature card from the battle from your hand onto the battlefield.
fuck, that's nice, man. That is some fun shit.
Yeah. So it's like, you're picking who you're attacking, and then you got to see if you could like sneak some creatures out. And it's probably going to be an Eldrazi.
So if you don't have a lot of cards in hand, you're gonna draw cards. And if you already have
Yes.
cards in hands, you're just putting shit out.
Yeah. So if you're down cards and need cards, you attack somebody with a lot of cards, and then you draw cards equal to the difference. And then if you're ahead, you got a full grip. Then you should start attacking people that either have the same number of cards or less cards than you, and you're putting out creatures for free. So you're refilling your hand and putting creatures out basically every other turn.
That's that's really cool. I'd like to see someone build this. This sounds powerful enough to be effective, but no protection. I like that it's got lifelink. Like, what a nice little thing to add to it. Just because if If you got to swing with it, you might as well gain a little life. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And if
Now,
I
how
made
would you
it, I
build
wouldn't
it?
make it gross. I mean, that's the thing though. It's a you're in Bant, so like the problem is the only thing that reason I wouldn't build this is because you're in Bant. So like what are like the big beaters? Like white's got angels, green's got obviously like every fucking
Everything.
bullshit large thing. And then blue's got like your sea creature type large guys, some like some sphinxy flyer type things. So like I have decks that kind of already have like I have an angels deck, so like I wouldn't put angels in here. I have an Eldrazi deck, so I don't want to do like that side of things. So it leaves like green beaters, but I kind of like already have a Simic deck that just plays like the biggest green things. So I don't know. It's the effect is cool, but it's just that there's not. I already have other large creature decks that
How about like out of control tokens? So like the intention is old gnawbone, um, the white dragon,
ancient gold dragon.
um yeah, the Avenger of Zendikar, all these things that when they enter make a ton of tokens and just have, all these big token creator creatures. And then the rest of your deck is stuff that like benefits when tokens enter, whenever artifacts enter, like you could maybe do something like that where, because obviously you want to just put big fat creatures and when you attack, you get these monster creatures and worms. But like maybe you could do it where the creatures entering are going to make the tokens that win you the game, instead of relying on the creatures themselves. And then obviously you'll keep on drawing cards. So that's probably where I would start to build this is like what weird creatures that coming in can make, you know, a million tokens, can make, a million mana, can make some shit like that. That's what I guess I'd look at if you were looking for a weird avenue for this.
The other one that I thought was cool was Balin the Haymaker.
Yeah,
Um,
great artwork on that one too.
yeah, both that and the anime version. Um, yeah, Naya for a 4/3, so it's kind of ahead of curve. Tap 2 untap tokens you control to add a mana of any color. Tap 3 untap tokens you control to draw a card. And then tap 4 to give 3/1/1s onto Balin. So, anything you're going wide, you can use treasures without sacrificing them. Pretty cool.
Yeah, what's that card from New Capenna? There's the same Naya, and he was all about like if so many tokens are on the battlefield, all your creatures get sown. Let me just pull it up.
Oh
New
yeah, that's
Capenna.
isn't it like not Rocco. Jetmir?
That sounds right. I think it starts with a J. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels. So it's Naya, it's one and Naya for a 5/4. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample as long as you control 6 or more. And then creatures you control also get +1/+0 and have double strike for as long as you control 9 or more creatures. So teamed up with that, I mean, that's some power right there. That Pride event, if you put both of them as partners, that shit would be a
Yeah.
joke. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm sure as this next week goes through, and we're talking next week about it, I'm sure we'll have some new commander ideas. It's a lot to digest a whole set. It really is, especially when everything has so much text on it. So I love it. All right, let's talk frogs, and then we'll sign on off out of here, man. The most important conversation we're having today.
Yeah, frog
So
talk.
ultimately, they have 3 commanders that are 3-color frogs, and they have a 2-color frog. And I need to hear from you which of these motherfuckers are going to be the helm. So the first one and the most obvious one to me, because it has black in it, is Glarb Calamity's Augur, which is
Mm-hmm.
black, blue, green. You need blue, green for frogs. That's the definite.
Given.
Yeah. So black would be the other, which there's a lot of, that puts the Gitrog in, that puts the that one knight that makes the legendary frog and all that shit. So Glarb is ideally color-wise the best. And he says he's a 2/4 for 3. Frog Wizard Noble, Death Touch. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands and cast spells with mana value 4 or greater from the top of your library. And you can also tap him to surveil 2. My problem is this doesn't do any frog shit for me. So I
Yes. Are the frogs 4 mana or greater?
know a lot of them are 2, 3 mana. I mean,
So
unless
then,
you're
yeah, that's
casting, yeah, I mean, unless you're casting Gitrog or, whatever that one with Dredge or whatever is. I mean, not Dredge, whatever. But no, these frogs are little fellas. I mean, now there's Frog Hemoth, but that ain't
Mm,
winning a commander game, like.
no, yeah.
So Glarb is ideally color wise the best, but that tap 2 surveil ain't doing too much for me. Okay, so that's the first option. The second option is Flubs the Fool, which
Mhm.
is blue, green, blue, red. So red is the other option, which does not really have many frogs. I guess you would be using red maybe for haste, for removal. I don't know. But it says it's a 3 mana 0/5. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, which is nice. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, draw a card if you have no cards in hand. Otherwise, discard a card. So whenever I play a land or cast a spell, I have to discard unless I have no hand. What the fuck? How is this going to help me in Commander?
Yeah.
I have all the land in the world and no hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have
Well,
frogs, so it's not like I have like
I
anything
mean,
going
do
on.
you feel, yeah, it's just like rough because like I would say that if it was like another color combo where like you wouldn't want to hold up cards because I feel like you're in blue, so you're in Simic, because you're doing frogs, so you want to hold, like, you're probably holding up something.
Yeah,
So like to operate with no hand seems difficult.
yeah. Even like if I want to
Unless
counter a spell, I
unless
got
you're
to
playing a
discard.
reanimator strategy.
I'm gonna reanimate a 2/2 frog. Like
No.
it
Yeah.
sucks.
Okay,
It
so
sucks.
it's two for two, not great.
Yeah. Okay. The last one is Helga, the Skittish Seer. So it's blue, green, and white is the third color in this one. Which again, not very frog friendly. But maybe now I can
Well, you
put in
got the main
rabbit.
frog colors.
Yeah, but the white, so but like I said, this is now where maybe I put some rabbits in here to help with the hop ability, of like returning things come back in. I know frogs are doing some of that. Rabbits are too. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana, okay, 3 mana, 1/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4 or greater, you draw a card, gain a life, and put a 1/1 counter on Helga Skittish Seer. You could also tap her to add X mana of any one color, where X is Helga's power. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells with mana value 4 or greater, or with X in their mana spells. This is another scenario where you want bigger creatures in here, and she's a
Which
mana
frogs are
producer.
not?
It's not helping the frogs. Like if I can't tap her to cast 2 or 3 frogs, I have to only frog Hemoth. It's not helping me. However, every creature I cast is going to put a 1/1 counter on her, give me a life, draw me a card. That's good. So, do I maybe modify it a little bit to where it's less frogs, maybe some bigger bunnies, work around it?
No.
No. Okay. So then the last option, which unfortunately is where I think I'm at, is Clement the Worrywart, which is 1 blue green, 3/3. So it's a 3 mana 3/3 with vigilance. Whenever Clement or another creature you control enters, return up to one target creature you control with lesser mana value to its owner's hands. To its owner's hand. So it has that hop ability of like you cast it, it returns a frog to hand, then you cast that frog, which will return a different frog to your hand. You get the ETB. And then it also says frogs you control have tap, add blue or green, spend this mana only to cast creature spells. I think if I'm going to go frogs, that this is just going to be the best option to do what frogs do. And then I would pepper in a few creatures with wildly good ETB triggers at a low cost. So, like 2 mana creatures that have great ETBs. That way, I can at least get that advantage of the bounce because frogs are not going to win me a commander game. That's definitely something I'm learning. I'm going to force this, but frogs themselves are not going to win. So do I take advantage of this bounce ability and ETBs to get my value with frogs, or how do I do this, bro?
All right. Well, I'm looking at all of the frogs that you can play,
Yes, not many.
and there's not many. So, looking at like what are like the beaters?
Frog Hemoth is awesome.
Yeah, Frog Hemoth.
And that's it. Now there's some nifty frogs from the new set that I haven't read too deep into until I sit down to build this. But yeah, not many big fellas.
You could turn something into a frog. Are you running all like the turn things into frogs cards as well?
Yeah, for theme. But like then I have to run non-frogs to turn them into frogs. And I'd rather, if I'm using the turn into frogs, I'd use it on my opponent's creatures, not mine.
Yeah, and you're also gonna have to unfortunately run at least one otter
Yeah.
to get the Valley Flood Caller, 2 and a blue for
Right.
2/2 Oz or whatever. Yeah, to give them all +1/+1.
Yeah.
Um,
So Helga, because I can then go frogs and bunnies, and I'll go hop tribal instead of frog tribal, or I just go for the worry wart and keep it simple because I don't think flubs is at all usable without having a hand, and the other glarb ain't doing shit for me.
I I I honestly feel like Glarb might be the way because
Just so I get black.
so all right, so it gives you black. So right out the gate, that's like a benefit. It gives you black. It has death touch, so it's got like a solid like it's a blocker,
Yeah.
and you can still play lands off the top of your deck. And the surveil too is pretty decent. Like, just having that on a stick, being able to surveil 2 anytime. I almost feel like just like the fact like and then maybe you have some like green enchantments that cost like maybe some of your support cards are mana value for greater. Like
Hmm.
your enchantments and things.
That's actually a good idea. So have my instant sorceries, enchantments, have that stuff be high CMC to get
And then
advantage.
yeah, and then use that to kind of fill in the gap of like how not powerful the rest of the frogs are.
That's really good advice. I like that. Because like I said right from the bat, I mean, I want the blue. I mean, I want the black. Um, and you just kind of solved my issue of, this commander isn't going to help me. So now suddenly it will, as long as I build with larger non-creature mana value 4 or greater. I wish his alternate art looked cooler because Glarb looks great sitting on that. I don't know, looks like an artichoke leaves, but his special art kind of yucky.
The showcase
So
you don't like?
no, no.
What about the anime version? He looks fucking sick as fuck.
Oh, I didn't know there's a second version. Oh, shit. All right, let's pull it up and see. So
I can share it.
showcase. Yes. Okay, so yeah, the one with that showcase border, I don't like it. He looks, I don't know. He looks a little fucked up. You guys want to go fishing?
It's a little
There's another Glarb, huh?
yeah, I'm sharing it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's
All right, all right, all
Clement.
right.
That's Clement. Sorry. Were you talking about
Oh,
Glarb?
Glarb, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like,
So
damn.
see,
But
so
look
now
at this
now Clement,
Clement.
I know, that's what I mean. And he'll hop my frogs. I think that might be my option. All right, here's what I'll do. I'll build it with Glarb. And if that black isn't doing enough for me,
Cut
then
it.
I'll just drop down to the worry wart.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
But I just feel like having black is going to help you with the fact that the frogs themselves aren't like fantastic.
Yeah. Just proper removal. A little
Yeah.
bit of fast mana in there, put a little dark ritual in there to kind of
Like a no
get a
mercy
frog
or
out
some
faster.
shit.
Yeah, which I'm so glad No Mercy's gone down in price. You know, that's
Yeah,
something I can do. Um, yeah, just a little protect my frogs. Yeah.
you have to
I don't
think
know, man.
outside of the box for this one. I'm
For
all
sure.
about
It's fun though.
making weak strategies better with like powerful support cards.
Mm,
Because it's like, you know what I mean? It almost makes it feel fair. Like you can run a mana crypt in your frogs deck because ultimately, what the fuck are you actually doing? You're playing some frogs.
yeah. 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 It really, honestly, I
So
don't even
you
know if I
might
would
as
want that in
well,
there.
yeah, you might as well get as much help as you can in your frog
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Hey, what token does Black Market Connections make? Is it a
A
shapeshifter?
3/2 shapeshifter.
Which would be a frog?
Let's look. I think
All
so.
right.
I think it needs to have changeling in order to like. No, it has
Hmm.
every creature type. Yeah, a shapeshifter token with changeling.
All right. That
So
see
boom, that's
each
another frog.
that's another frog. That's a daily
Oh,
frog. You
dude,
get your daily
actually,
frog.
now that I remembered it, yeah, then you can actually use changelings to like also help fill that out.
Yeah. And there's the Gravedigger changeling and I don't like putting changeling, but I guess for this deck, as long as I don't put more than 4 or 5, it'll be perfect. I'll
Yeah,
pick the
no, I
best
would
of them.
say run every frog because listen, there's only I think I just looked. I think there's like 26 frogs total.
And 8 of them, at least 8 of them are from old sets that are literally just like
Yeah, trash.
summon toad.
Yeah,
All
so I feel like as long as you're running the best of every frog and you're still like shy, because when you make a tribal deck, like how many creatures from that tribe do you put in?
right. I mean, I try to have 20, and then like 5 of them are going to be just like support creatures, you know. I like to have
Word,
25
because I try
creatures
to
when I
run
go
like
tribal.
25. I like try to run as close to 30 as possible. So I usually fall in like the 28 area,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
which there
definitely
aren't even that
between
many frogs.
25 and
So
30. Yes, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like if you're running all the frogs and you have like 18, 20 frogs, like why not run six to seven changelings to fill it out?
yeah,
And then there's the
yeah,
changeling tree that you can pay mana just make changelings, you can make frogs that way.
yeah. All right. Okay, so yeah, Flub out of the way. Helga, although I love Helga, I think she's a great commander, not for frogs. So I will look in and I'll report next week on how it's going.
Word, Larb.
Uh yeah, oh Joey just texted us. Let's see
Yeah, I saw that. You can play
uh
early.
okay. All right. Well, let's see. We're almost at 10 o'clock, so we're almost at
I
12
was gonna
anyway.
say like 11, or is
Yeah, I
that
mean
not
I
you
could
think you could swing it?
uh, all I gotta do
11:30?
is yeah, I could get my shit together and head down right away. And then honestly, the earlier the better for me. I can only play 6 hours today. Um,
Six
so the
hours
early
total or to 6
total,
p.m.
six total. I got six hours of playtime in me. Um, I gotta be home by like dinner time. I got party wings and the special sauce and everything. I wanna grill it all up for the family. Um, so the earlier the better, by all means.
All
Um,
right, so I'm gonna pitch 11 then.
Okay. Yeah. Was it 9:43? I could get there in 35 minutes. So yeah, yeah. See if we can do 11. As long as Mark can make it.
Give you 45 minutes to jerk off
Yeah.
and
Because
get your
I
shit together.
hell yeah, I'll jerk off while I'm loading up this episode. um. All right. So then yeah, that's it. Yeah, because it takes me about 20 minutes to post these, so I'll be able to get them uploaded and posted
Word.
before I leave. Awesome. All right. Well then, in that case, everybody, we are at the bottom of the glass here. Although
Hell
I still
yeah.
have a little, I'm drinking Modelo's. I am on a job
Keeping it
site where they
classy.
are force feeding me Modelo's, and now it's
What
in
you
my
drinking?
zeitgeist. That's what I'm doing now. So, all right, man. I will see you in about an hour or two. Everybody else, I'm sorry we didn't record last week, but we are back at it. And oh, there it is. Yeah, you even sent a message. Everybody, take it easy.
Take it easy.